Okay, so what we got going on in the wok right here on in the outdoor kitchen is half of the chorizo and Italian ground sausage that we got last night at IGA for 99 cents a pound. I ended up with about 10 pounds of this, and I'm going to be browning it up, and then I'm going to can it in 24-ounce pickle jars. So what I have added to, I'm mixing the sausages together. I've got half of it in here, and then I'm going to drain this off. Once I get this browned, I'm going to save the juice and the grease, and I'm going to can that separately for making gravy and flavoring rice and stuff like that. And then and beans. And then what I also did was, in this bowl right here, I have chives, garlic chives, regular sage, pineapple sage, and some parsley in here. And then I also added some of my green onions from the garden, and I added some oregano. I could have got some fresh oregano from the garden, but I didn't go that far. I just went right out the back door there and grabbed these herbs. So also chopped up a few of my peppers and put in there. So we've got some fresh herbs, onions, garlic, and some peppers, and different sage and parsley in there. So I'm gonna brown this up, drain it off, save the juice, and then I'll be doing the next batch. I've got 2 more of these. I've got this one, and then I've got another one of the homemade Italian sausage that I will be mixing those 2 together, and the rest of these herbs and peppers and onions, and getting that all browned up. And then later I've been collecting up some more 24-ounce plastic pickle jars, and that's the amount and the size that I'll be doing. I like using the industrial jars to can meats with, because they seem to have a better glue and seal on them for canning meats. So that is the plan for today. And actually, I didn't know that they were going to have this special in the sausage last night. We do love sausage. We use it very interchangeably with ground beef. We also make all kinds of stuff with it, spaghetti and different kinds of hamburger soup and goulash and sausage and gravy and biscuits, dirty rice, all kinds of stuff. So I was looking for a deal on ground beef so that I could can up some more ground beef last night, but I did not find it, but I did find this sausage, so I'm happy about that. So I will talk to you guys later on whenever I'm jarring this up to can. Okay, so this is what we got after we browned everything off, and I did save the juice and the fat and everything off this to can in small jars later, for soup base, roux base, gravy base, and that kind of thing. And so now I'm gonna go ahead, and I got my jars right here. I don't know how many it'll take, but we've got 4 24-ounce jars. This one's about 20 ounces, and then I got a 16-ounce jar right here. So I'm just going to fix the camera, sit it back right there, and fill up these jars. I need to put this back a little bit. There we go. So oil is one of those things that are like, suit me, everything is astronomically expensive these days, but oil is one of those that is a basic necessity that is. And I am big on making broth and saving bacon fat and stuff like that. So we make a lot of roux and gravies and soup bases and beans and stuff like that. And I find it very, very good to save, like when my husband smokes pork butts or grills pork butts on our grill, slow cooks them, or especially a big chuck roast, briskets, anything like that. I save the drippings and I make broth, and then I will also separate the fat sometimes and just put the fat separate just to use for starting gravy and roux. So waste not, want not. We try not to waste, or at least I try not to waste anything, let anything go to waste. Find multiple uses for everything when it comes to this meat. So this would be some pretty good sausage. It is chorizo and Italian mixed. And then I added garlic chives and all kinds of the spices, like we talked about earlier. So this should be really, really nice to open up and add to a pot of goulash or spaghetti or even a shepherd's pie. Anything like that. That one got a little full. I'm going to dump some of it. I'm going to have to get some more jars. That'll be nice. This would even be good for breakfast casserole, or a lot of different casseroles you can put it in. And potato and sausage soup. Tacos. It's really endless what you can do with this, and it's so convenient to make. Just a couple nights ago, my husband works at a fire station, so he is gone every third night, and it's usually just me and my son. Right now it's me and my son, but my daughter's at her grandparents for the summer, or at least for a couple weeks anyways, and I can just go in there when it's just me and the kids, and I can make a full pantry, a full meal like spaghetti or goulash or anything like that straight out of the pantry without really having to do much work at all. Just dump it all, in a pot, cook some noodles, and have everything on hand to make a whole meal without having to really take up much time or energy or effort at all. So conveniences are really awesome, especially these days right now when I'm working some, and then I'm also working in the garden so much and spending so much time processing vegetables from the garden and canning. It's really nice to have some convenience meals on hand, and I'm definitely going to have to get some more jars because this is great. I am loving how much I'm getting from these 4-packs or 6-packs. But when it was, before I rendered it down, it was close to, probably approximately close to 10 pounds of sausage is what I estimated based on all the fractions. So I just like to take my jars when I'm canning and just grab them and shake them real quick side to side like that, and that does a really good job of settling everything, whether it's beans or vegetables or meat, and getting everything to work its way down where it's not. So I don't pack it, I just settle it in the jar. So I will be topping these off with some water, or I might do a little bit of bouillon in the water just to keep it with some extra flavor. I'm gonna go ahead and get probably at least 2 or 3 more jars. So these jars have already been washed. I just, once they dry good in my drainer, I make sure that I wipe everything out with a towel and get it really dry, and then I put the lids back on them. That way it's convenient. When I go grabbing jars, I already have the lids to go with them. And I do reuse my lids until they're damaged, or there's an issue with them, or they're dented or something like that. As long as they are in good condition, they keep on going. And the other day I had something that I canned in 2010 that I finally used, and of course the lid ended up back in the dishwasher, and I used it again, and then after I canned, I looked at the lid because I had marked it for the last thing that was in there in 2010 and saw it, and it sealed up good as can be. Which in 2010, I really think things are getting cheaper and cheaper, and the quality is getting less and less. So I'm sure that any jars that were made years prior, or any lids or jars, probably have better quality than anything that's made these days, because even the ball jars and everything are made in China and everything else. So it is what it is. Hopefully in the future we'll start bringing stuff back to America and having better quality items. Okay, well, I think, let me go ahead and settle this jar, because I can add, now that I've settled these other jars, I've got room to add some, so I'm just going to use what's left in here to top off these other jars that have some room. And then I will be taking up my napkin I have over here, my vinegar, and wiping these jars and putting the lids on. And then I'm going to start getting my canner ready. I think that also today I have those zipper cream peas to can. So I'm probably, I don't know, with these 24-ounce jars I won't be able to double stack my canner, so I might just have to put what I can of these in one canner and then put the rest of them in another canner. We'll see how it goes down. But I don't have to do my zipper creams, but I believe 40 minutes. So I don't want to do them with this meat because I don't want to overcook them. Alright, so that's good enough. So all these jars ain't all the way to the top, but they're full enough. So I'm going to wipe my jars real good around the rim with just plain white vinegar on a napkin. And then once I get done doing that, I'm just going to go back and wipe them again with a dry side of this napkin. So we ended up with that approximate 10 pounds of sausage. We ended up with, this is fresh ground sausage from the meat department at IGA. And it was it wasn't a very fine ground sausage either. It was pretty thick grind sausage. So we ended up with 4 24-ounce jars, 1 20-ounce, and 3 16-ounce jars. So 8 jars total. 3 16, 1 20, and 4 24. So that's really nice. That's going to be a really nice addition to my pantry shelf. And we spent about $9 on this 10 pounds, or I guess close to $10, because it was 99 cents a pound, and it was close to 10 pounds. So that is that, and I'm gonna go get my water that I need to fill these up, and I'll be right back. Okay, so what I decided to do was just go get some of my filtered water out of our water filtration machine in the house, and I'm just going to add a little bit more of this ham seasoning to each, or ham bouillon to each one of these jars, and then just fill it with water, because that would be about the same if I just added this into some water and mixed it around. And it's got a pretty good pork flavor to it already. And this stuff right here, this Goya ham seasoning, I love it. It smells so hammy. And this seasoning I actually picked up the other day when I found it on sale, which I always have some of this on hand, so I did still have some on hand, but I picked up a really big economy pack for like $2.99 the other day on sale at IGA. So that was pretty nice. So I'm not going to add anything else to these. I didn't add any salt to them when I was cooking them, just fresh herbs and onions and garlic. This will have a little bit of salt to it. And I don't know how salty this is, because when they do the fresh sausage from the meat department, they don't add a lot of salt to it. They just add basically seasonings, so it's nowhere near has the salt in it that you would find in prepackaged sausage on the shelf. Doesn't have the nitrates and the nitrites and all that, so it is a little bit better. I can just imagine how that is going to smell when you open that jar with all that fresh sausage and all those fresh herbs that we put in that sausage with that ham bouillon. and maybe I might be able to, whatever of these, I'm going to put all the big ones in there in the canner. So it's got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there's only one more jar. I can fit 7 quarts in my small canner, and there's only one more jar, and I've got 3 of them are actually pint jars, so it might actually fit. Okay, alright, the headspace is looking good. I'm gonna go ahead and gently give them a twist, let all those bubbles come out. I find that twisting them like this and just barely, you know, tapping them on the table is a really, really good way to get rid of air bubbles without having to stick that stick in there. And now I'm going to go ahead and wipe the rims again with the vinegar side in case, well, I didn't see any splash up, but in case there was. We want to make sure that we get as good a seal as we can on this sausage. Meat that has fat and grease in it is, and even beans with all its starch, when I do dry beans, is, I'm always worried about its sealing. So just gonna put these on fingertip tight. And alright, we got the Mount Olive pickle jars. Got a classic pickle jar. Which one says classic? Oh, it didn't say Mount Olive, so this must be the classic one. And you guys, jars are double what they have been the last few years in most stores, especially the grocery store, IGA, Winn-Dixie, all of them types of places. They're like $16, $15 and $16 for 12 jars, and probably that's going up every day. That's just the last time that I saw some. Yesterday when I was at IGA, I looked at and those are pint jars, those aren't even quarts. I looked at them and they were like $15.99. Last time I bought jars at Winn-Dixie was probably 3 weeks to a month ago, and they were $14.99 for pint jars. So I have been collecting jars every which way, every thrift store. I'm always looking for jars. When I go to the store and I buy stuff, I will buy them if it's not but a few cents more to get something in a jar that I can reuse the can in. I go for that option, just so that I can have as many jars on my shelf as possible to be able to can in, and that I will never have to go in the dilemma of, well, I can't put away my food because I don't have any jars, and I can't find any jars in the store, or I can't afford to buy any jars, so I can't preserve my food. We don't want to go that route. We want to have plan B and plan C and as much preparation as we can. And like I said before, these pickle jars, these lug lids, and these industrial seals that are on these lids, and these are brand new. I mean, we just finished these jars. They haven't been canned in yet, but I will can in them as many times as they will seal. And there is a website, there's a few websites that you can go to, and you can buy replacement lids. These lids come in standard sizes. All jars that have lug lids are a certain a standard size metric. So there is a standard size for each one. So like these all have the same exact lug lid size, even though they're different brands. And you can order them, and they're anywhere from a few cents to maybe like 20 cents a piece to buy the lug lid. So when these lids go out, I can go, and I might go ahead and do this and buy some of the standard sizes that I have jars for already and buy replacement lids. That way when I feel like these are starting to rust, I can just throw these out and I'll have new lids for these jars, because these jars, they have the little dimples on the bottom, which means you can can in them, and they are good industrial canning jars, just as good as these or your regular. These are Anchor Hocking jars. So I mean, I feel like it's just as good an investment for me to buy replacement lids for these jars and use them several times like I do the ones that I have, until there's a failure or they start to rust. And I think that probably the ones that you buy from these websites that do these lids, those lids are probably a little bit better quality than the one-time use that the companies are putting on these, as far as the coatings on them. The outside coating that keeps them from rusting, because they're all made of tin. So that's my spiel on jars, and I am going to go and get my canner ready, and then we'll come back. So looky, this is my 16 quart Presto, and we got all 8 jars in there. We got our vinegar in there and some water, and we're about to put the lid on and let this thing start coming up to pressure. And I'm going to be blanching my peas and getting those ready to can. And I will be using a couple of these lug jars for my peas, my zipper cream peas as well. So we'll see what we can come up with that. Okay, the canner is going. We are doing this for 90 minutes because we're doing those 24-ounce jars. And if we were only doing 16-ounce jars, we'd only have to do it for 75. But we went ahead and did it for 90 minutes. It's been going for about 10 minutes. And I've turned my fire down, which I can probably, it looks like today, I can go ahead and turn it down to 6. Because it seems like it's dancing pretty good. Normally, I keep it around 6.5, but it probably has to do sometimes too with the contents of the jar and how full the canner is and stuff like that. We'll let it go to 6.0 and see if it calms down just a little bit, but we want to make sure it just keeps jiggling. And then over here, I've got my zipper cream peas. So this was 4 bags at 22 ounces. So this is 5.5 pounds of zipper cream peas, and it is the Pick Sweet flash frozen peas, and we're going to be canning those. And I'm just going to bring these up to a boil, let them boil for 3 to 5 minutes, and then basically just getting them up to temperature, and then I'll be putting them into jars. Okay, so these have been boiling for about 5 minutes, and you see all the foam on top. I'm going to rinse and drain these and then put them into my jars right here. I got 11 pints out, and I did have to break open a new case of jars, and these are the True Living jars from Dollar General. They look like that in the lids, and these are the pints. And right now my Dollar General does, and my Family Dollar both, the Dollar General has these True Living and in the pint and the half pints that they are selling for $9 a 12-pack or a case, and then they are selling the Golden Harvest quarts for $10 a case. So that is, and then at Family Dollar they are selling the Anchor Hocking for $9.50 a case for the pints, and I haven't seen them have any quarts in a long time. But that is another good option to look at affordable jars in your area, and it may be cheaper in your area. I am in Jacksonville, and things are a bit expensive here as far as how things normally go in other areas where the cost of living is a little less. So I'm going to go ahead and drain these, and then I'm going to set you up to watch me fill up these jars with beans. Alright. A good spoon to dip these with. So I rinsed these beans in cold water. And now I'm just going to start filling them up. And I'm just eyeballing. I did look and pick these beans pretty good. But as I'm going through them, I still might find one that looks off. I'm doing these, last time when I did the purple whole peas, I did them in quarts. But I'm just going to do these in pints this time. That way, if we just want some to go on the side of the side dish, or add with some green beans, a little half pint of green beans as a little side dish for our dinner, then we can just open up a pot. And if we want to have a whole pot of these, we can just open up 4 of these pots and put them in a crock pot with some ham or sausage or some kind of seasoning. And they're supposed to be 5.5 pounds here, so we'll see. I pulled out 11 of these jars, so we'll see. So I am going to go on the website, and if you Google buy lug lids, should find probably a bunch of different websites that sell them. And I'm going to go on there, and they're basically their standard sizes for they have their basic sizes that they sell. There's probably 7 or 8 different sizes, from the bottle caps to the pickle jars, the small pickle jars, the large pickle jars, and then the larger jars. So what you can do is, and they name the sizes, basically like a 38 TZ or something like that will be one size. And in the description, they'll give you a measurement, and then you can just measure the lids that you have. We got a little hole of the jars that you have, and then you'll find out what its letter and number size is, and then you can buy accordingly. And I think I just have basically 3 sizes that I would need. I don't have I haven't collected up enough of the lug bottles yet that have the seals in them, so I would just go on there and just order maybe 25 of each of the 3 main sizes that I have. And well, we're going to be running light, so let's go ahead and situate these jars. Anyway, my jar is still wet from me washing them a while ago, since these were new jars. So anyway, let's go ahead and shimmy these down and see where we can use up the remainder few little peas that we got left here. Top off these jars. So anyway, so I'm going to I'm going to do inventory on how many jars that I have, and I'm still going to be collecting these, and I've asked other people to start collecting them for me too. But the basic, there's going to be basically two sizes, maybe 3, that I'll order. And I'll order, 25 or 30 of each one, just to have on the shelf. That way, when these tin lids, they do start to rust, then, and I feel like I don't want to use them anymore, then I'll just get a new lid. Pop out the lid, and my jars will still be perfectly fine because they're glass, just like these. Okay, so I want to fill these up to about this line right here and do 1 inch of head space. So still have, so we ended up with 3, 6, 9 pints. And then we got a few more in here. And I've been thinking about if I want to do these in water or if I want to do them in ham broth or if I want to do them in vegetable broth. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and set the jars that I didn't need aside and go ahead and add some salt. And I'm just using plain salt with no iodine. I got half a teaspoon. I'm going to put half a teaspoon in each one of these jars. Okay, that's probably enough salt. Alright, I'm just going to pause real quick while I go get the broth that we're going to use for these beans, and I'll be right back. Okay, I decided to do some of the veggie broth that I made up the other day. Really want to metal one of these things right here because the plastic gets worn down, makes it hard to open these jars. Okay, put my funnel. And one reason why I want to do some of these with veggie broth is because my mom is vegan, and sometimes she's here and we eat. And we try, when she's here, we try to make, most of our dishes, especially our side dishes and stuff like that. She has her own meat, vegan burgers and stuff that she will bring, but try to do, vegan sides. And this would be something nice to have on a side. If I do vegetable broth in them, then we will be able to do that because she doesn't eat meat of any kind or any meat broth products. I just had a piece of green that ended up in there. Okay. Another green. I'm just going to finish filling those other ones in water. I did have a little bit of my ham bouillon left, so I think I will do the ones over here on the end, at least. Do a few of them with the ham bouillon, and then I'll just mark these that they have a ham flavoring in them. I'll just make sure that whenever I put the lid on them, that they are marked as such. A little piece of green. So now that we've got the water in there, this one looks like it has a little bit more beans in it. This one looks like it has a little less. So, okay. That's about even. They're all about up to the shoulder, or up to that bottom line. So let me, I'm not going to wipe these with vinegar because there's no fat on these. I'm just going to go over them really good with a dry paper towel to make sure. And since I only have 9 of these, I'll put in my small canner, so I'll just let them sit here on the counter until that canner gets done, and then once that comes down off pressure, I'll pull those out and rinse out that canner and just start a new batch. That way I don't have to go back outside in the heat to run my other canner, which I could bring my other canner in here and start it right now, but I'll decide if I want to end up doing that or not. So there you have it. If you buy 6 of those bags of the Pick Sweet pre-blanched zipper cream peas from your local store, if they have the different peas and beans in their frozen section, then you can get 9 pints of zipper cream peas. My store also carries white butter peas, which I love, love, love. Those are pretty much my favorite white butter peas, and then zipper creams and purple holes are my next favorite peas. But I just like to boil these again just to get a little bit more starch out of them before I can them. Make sure my lids aren't too tight. Okay. And these were actually the peas that I got from the farmer's market. They are 8 pounds for $35. They are right from the field, but these were 6 pounds for $12. So they're a lot less expensive if you buy them, because these are always on sale at my IGA for 2 for $6. So these are a lot less expensive than those, and they are selling these for $35 for 8 pounds. They're not fresh off the field and hulled and everything like that, but they are flash frozen. So I feel like they're pretty much just as good as far as flavor goes. I don't think I could tell the difference. And as far as nutrition value, they are flash frozen as soon as they come out of the field. So they're pretty nutritionally dense as well. So instead of going and getting a bushel of these, I just went ahead and picked up these, and then when they have another 6 pounds, or when they have some more in stock, because I got the last 6 pounds they had, then I'm going to go and get another 6 bags or whatever I feel like I need at that point, and do some more. Alright, well, I will show you guys what these look like when they come out of the canner and how we situate these, and that will be the end of my video today. And I'll also be able to show you when I come back. I'll just show you these already canned and the ground pork already canned. Okay, I wanted to go ahead and end this video about the canning. So we have our 9 pints of zipper cream peas, and we have 2 or 3 of them I have marked that we put the ham bouillon in for flavoring. The other ones we just flavored with salt. And then here is our sausage with peppers and onions in our lug jars, and these turned out really great. I actually had, so here's pictured 7, I actually had 8. I had another pickle jar that was a pint size, but I didn't realize when I went to can it that someone had pried the lid, probably me, trying to get the pickles open, so it didn't seal. So I went ahead and put that one in the refrigerator. But there you got the sausage with peppers and onions and herbs. So that turned out really good. I'm really excited, especially to have this quantity in these jars. This is perfect for our family to make tacos or a shepherd's pie or biscuits and gravy, or put on a pizza. It's actually these smaller ones I would use for a pizza. And then in here, and I just did these in my pressure cooker, my Cuisinart pressure cooker. It's about the same speed as a Instapot, and I did these on high pressure for 25 minutes. And this is the broth and fat that I drained off of the sausage whenever I cook the sausage. And so these are in little 8-ounce jars. I think these other ones back here might be 9 or 10 ounces. But this is perfect to make a roux or a gravy, to start a soup or a gumbo, or just some gravy in general to put on biscuits, or also if you're making a shepherd pie or a pot pie or something like that. So that's just a handy thing to have on the shelf, and that's a really good product for starting roux and gravy that that you can use without having any waste. And then over here was the canning that I had done the day before. And this is my carrots. I only have a few more carrots left in the garden. These are, I did a few pints of carrots and then some half pint carrots. And then my last picking of green beans, I had 2 pints and 1 half pint of green beans, and I just did these plain with just added salt. So I got all these carrots to add to my carrot pile, and then 3 more jars of green beans. We got our drippings, our sausage, and our zipper cream peas. And I wanted to go ahead and do these in the pints so that we could just add like one of these half pints of green beans to them and make a really delicious side dish for dinner or something like that. So I will be going and getting some more of these zipper creams, and probably will have enough from my own harvest to put up some quarts of those once my harvest finally comes in. Alright, so that is the canning, and thank you guys for watching. Hope you have a great day.